All right, my friends, we're back with another video, and this video came to mind for me because of a question in one of my other videos. This one's going to talk about the Expanse. So if you're not familiar with the Expanse and how it works, when you first start off in the game, you get introduced to the realm of the nine, you do singularity order and all these different activities here in the realm of the nine. Singularity order, of course, you do that as you're leveling up, and then you unlock chaos or whatever, and then you get to the Expanse as well. Now, when you start off with the Expanse, you start off in the lower level where you start with stage 1, you go 1 through 10, you get some fruits along the way. Then you go 11 to 20, and this is usually where, when you're first starting out the game, you usually get to this boss and you're probably under-leveled and you get stuck here. So you got to go out, get some more power, you come back, and you finally beat this level 20 boss. Then you unlock 21 to 30. Now, when 21 to 30 unlocks, a couple things happen. You now have two sides to the Expanse. And what I mean by that is, if you see this right here, you see right here how it says eternity, right? Well, if you click it, it goes between echoes and eternity. Meaning there's two sides, two different kinds of shinkas, a shinkas per side, and an element. This changes every 2 weeks. You can see we have 9 days in the current cycle. So this week, this cycle for echoes, we have solar and we have the scorch buff, okay? And rapid fire shinkas. Now it tells you down here the recommended characters, Estella, Wolf, whatever, but you can beat this with other characters. As you can see, people do it with Ning, Tan, Gwen, whatever. It's just a matter of having a character that's high enough to overpower basically the activity. The stage 30 recommended power is 67,800. You can see as you start down here, it starts at 65,110. Couple things you need to remember. First off, once you open this chest here at stage 23, whatever character you were using becomes locked to this activity. So for example, let's say you start off with your Ning, okay? And you go through, you're like, I'm going to try to power through it, brute force it with Ning. And then you get to stage 23, you beat it, you open the chest. Well, Ning's locked here. And then you keep going to 24, you get to 25, you get through 26. It's starting to get a little bit tougher for you because the power's going up on the enemy. And then you get here and you get stuck. You just can't beat it. And you're like, well, I'm going to switch to my Estella now. Well, you can't. Or you may say, like, you get stuck here with a Ning, Wolf, whatever, and then you're like, all right, well, I have Estella. She's just a little bit lower, but I'm going to focus the next 4 or 5 days. I can get her power up, and then I'm going to bring her in here and do it. Well, you can't, because once you open this chest, that character is locked. So if you do it with Ning, your Ning is now locked to this for the whole entirety of that cycle. So you may have just screwed yourself, or you're going to have to power your Ning up even more to try to get him through, because you want to get through this. The reason being is because what you get. And that is, you can see the rewards as you go through. This is both sides here. When you get to stage 30 and you clear it, you get artifactual clusters. Now, the other thing that you need to know about this Expanse is you can get a lot more than this, because there's this thing called the treasure haul. Now, if you scroll down, you see for every clear, you get a key. Your initial clear, you get 1. If you beat it in under 11 minutes, you get another one. 10, another. 9, another. 7, another. So your goal is to beat this in under 7 minutes, if possible. You want to do it as fast as you can to get as many keys from here that you can, so that you can go to the treasure haul, open up the chest, and get more of these. Okay, you get more stuff in there. You get exotic artifacts, Mobius clusters, all this stuff inside the treasure hall. And like I said, there's 2 sides. So in total, there's 10 keys you can get. There's 10 chests in the treasure hall. So you can see if we switch to the other side, it's piercing, arc with the electrify buff. Now, for me, an example for this week, I don't have a Rossi, a Hellhest, or an Adel high enough to do this. You see, those are the recommended characters. But I completed this with my Ning because my Ning is over 73k. He's tier 5 or whatever. And just like I showed you, you can see I cleared it in under 7 minutes. So that's what having a high enough character, even though he's not the recommended, you can still get it done. It's going to come down to your build and stuff, a little bit of skill here and there. It gets a little tight. Really going to have to work out your strategy, but it can be done. And then, like I said, once you have the keys, you go over here to the treasure hall. And see, you've opened all chests for the cycle. Of course, it's going to be empty for me, but I'm just going to show it to you. Once you get it clear, you come in here, and there is 10 chests all throughout this area. And you come in here, and you open them up, and you get your loot. Okay, you can come back here as often as you want to. So if you just go through it once and you just clear it, and it takes you 15 minutes. Oh, you got 1 key, you come in, open your chest. You wait a couple days, you powered up a little bit, you get a couple more keys because you did it faster. Come back in here, get your chest. And the way you do that, again, if you didn't see, it's just over here on the left in the Expanse. You got your 3 different levels. And like I said, the first 2, the 1 through 20, you see, you can't, it's just one side. You just go through it and you do it. But once you get to Origin, you have that Eternity and that Echo side. So make sure you look at that and make sure you pay attention to the rewards, because I made a video about this before where some people may not notice when they open this up, they open it up, it looks like this. You know, they start scrolling down and they go, okay. They may notice the 2 sides, but then they see, oh, stage 30. They know it's stage 30, so they stop scrolling. And they don't even go down and see all this, these time trials. So make sure you see that. Use the characters. Make sure you remember, once you open that first chest at stage 23, whatever character you are using, you are now locked with that character until this cycle ends and the next cycle starts. So keep that in mind, my friends. And again, here's how you go to the treasure hall. It's just right there on the left. Frontier, Hinterland, Origin, treasure hall. Click on it. And you go in, use your keys. Okay. So that's going to do it. And this resets every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks you can do this. It gives you 2 weeks to build up a character for whatever the current cycle is if you don't have one. Or like I said, if you have a character that's strong enough, you can sometimes just brute force it. Like I said, I did that arc piercing side with Ning. And that stage 29, where the enemies are completely across the other side of the map and you have to shoot across the thing with a submachine gun and a crossbow, you're not doing your full damage. Makes it a little bit tougher, but it can be done. But I'll see you guys in the next one.